Hello, my convicts and convict catchers. It is I, the convict, bringing you guys and gals another video. So I accidentally deleted my video that I did previous regarding this. So I'm redoing it once again. So without further ado, here we go. Let's get straight to it. So I've been doing a little bit of tweaking again with my connection, as I always do. However, obviously I've been looking now and adding restore points rather than continuously obviously trying to wipe Windows, redo Windows and start from the beginning again. I'll probably end up doing it at some point again. But yeah, I've added restore points in to basically obviously be the vanilla, with no settings added sort of scenario. I've been looking into other ways I can try and improve my connection. I actually think that this has done something to my connection and has actually made it pretty decent. Now, I am playing Warzone or Call of Duty today, so we'll get to properly playtest it over a period of time, especially doing it while I'm uploading a stream as well. We'll obviously see if there's any sort of things there that I might need to tweak or change or anything like that, so we'll do that today. Anyway, let's talk about it and let's get into it. Here we go. So what I've been doing is over the past couple of days, I mean, testing what I've been done or what I have done in the past with DNS. Yes, we're back to DNS again. DNS obviously being something where I've always said, which it's a bit like a GPS sat nav kind of rule, where you've got your vanilla rule where it automatically picks for you, and then you've got the one where you can choose fastest path or just a generic route sort of thing. The fastest path obviously being a better one because it's more direct. It's more direct coming back. One thing I've noticed while playing Warzone, especially when I haven't touched or done anything to my connection, is when I was trying to run bash doors, there'd be like a half a second delay and then the doors would open. I don't know if you've ever seen it in my live streams, but I've gone up to a door, ran to it, hit it, and then it's like one, and then it's opened, and it's like, well, that don't make sense. I wanted to obviously do it instantly as I get to it and not obviously hit 1 second and then obviously thingy, because that's probably what's getting me killed. Because if I'm reacting to someone and it's taking that 1 second before I start firing or whatever, then they're going to win gunfights if they're obviously shooting or in certain circumstances. So I was like, well, this don't make sense. So I went through back, I got the Paul Gibson's DNS server again, and I thought, right, what we'll do is we'll go back through it again and we'll try and see if we can find out what could be causing it or if there's a way to fix that kind of thing. And that's what obviously led me to think, well, I do use DNS, so could it be that possibly that might be causing the issue, or could it be something else? So I went back to the Paul Gibson's and we tried that out. I'm just trying to think where I put it now. Where have I put that Paul Gibson thing? Where's the... There we go. DNS bench. Open file location. Where are you? Oh, okay. I actually made its own file in downloads called DNS Benchmark. If we open the benchmark again, bring that up. It's this. However, I didn't do it exactly the same way as I normally do it. I did do it a little bit different. So, anyone explain how to do it? Now, like I said before, and I've said many times to many people, I can't do this for you. This has to be something you have to do yourself because it's everyone's connection's different, everyone's location's different. So what will happen here will be completely different for everyone else. Now, I've got this little book here. Gotta be careful because I've written like IP addresses and stuff on it. A little book here with a list of different things in here. Normally like passwords and that and stuff. I've also been writing down DNSs, and these are DNSs I've used previously when I had my old connection, my FTTC connection, and then obviously use them. Now, a lot of them have actually come from DNS Benchmark because when I was inputting them back in, I went back here to where you can go to the bit where you can add and remove, and then you add the DNS in, and then obviously you can type in one And if it's correct, you can add it. If it's already here, this will stay grayed out like this, and you can't actually physically add it. And that's what I've been doing. So I've basically been going through the DNSs here and then adding the ones and then trying to find the ones that are best for me. So I went on to this, use this. However, what I recommend doing is running a benchmark, getting all of them into the correct area. What I did then is I actually went here and actually put them under uncached performance. And then I went through a couple of them on here in order to try and find the best DNS. So the best way I found, rather than just going based on the conclusion of the DNS from the benchmark from this, I just took on the DNSs that were the best ones after a couple of attempts. So I did it more than one attempt. I did maybe 2 or 3 of running the benchmark because it will change from time to time. So change your DNS to whatever it says is a top 2, then run the benchmark again and see if it becomes a top 2 again. If it doesn't, change it again, run the benchmark and keep doing it until the top 2 remain the top 2 each time you run this benchmark. And then what you can do is go over to terminal or whatever you prefer to use for your command prompt. I use terminal admin because it's the one that pops up here. And then when you go to terminal admin, you want to put this in. So put ping hash p, and that's all you need. That's the only code you need. And then put in the IP address that you're wanting to use. Like 8888, for instance, like Google, and then run the test. But what this is going to do now is it's going to run the test. It's going to continuously run the test all the time. And it's never going to stop. So to stop it, you hold control and you tap the letter C, C for Charlie. So hold control, tap C, like this. So hold control, tap C, and it'll stop the test. If you don't, the test will continue. So again, ping -t, and then put in, again, an IP address. Excuse me, my voice is going. 1111. Okay, and then again, run the test. So this one's showing a good example of what's happened. So it started at 9, and it's gone to 8. So what I kind of tried to do is I watched it for maybe a minute or so and see if it deviates quite often between 2 numbers or 3 numbers or 4 numbers. And this one has deviated a couple of times to 9 instead of 8, but it seems to be pretty good. So let it run for a little bit and see if it deviates again. What you want to do is keep letting it do it because it is constantly replying. And that's what you want to do, is you want to let it do that and keep running the test and see how it goes. If after you press Control and C, it hasn't deviated much, which 1111 hasn't deviated that much, and that's absolutely fine. If it deviates quite a lot and it's like 10, 9, and then maybe stays at 8 and then goes 10, 9, goes to 8, then this one I would probably not recommend using. If it's one like this where it's just very rarely that it deviates and it only deviates maybe by 1, then that one's a pretty good thing to have on there. Now the ones I currently have on mine is 156.154.711. So let me try that. So 156.154.711. Now don't use these ones because obviously these won't work for you, especially if you're not the UK. And then type that in and then leave it. But what I would recommend as well is a time to live of a short time to live. I've got here, which is 58. Before I always said about having a higher one, a higher time to live, but I would recommend having the shorter time to live. and trying that out. And then obviously try a higher time to live as well. See what's best for you. But if you've noticed with this one, I'll give it a moment. I think that should be good enough. You see, it never deviated. It never changed. It never deviated at all. It stayed at 8, purely 8. It didn't deviate, didn't move or anything. And you can see I've got Open DNS and Ultra DNS. And it never deviated. Stayed at 8. So what I recommend you doing is running the tests or running a DNS benchmark, or even going to the websites I used in my other previous DNS, which I'll try and put in the comments below from my previous DNS, where you can go through that listing of different countries and you can type in your different countries, which I could probably show you. If we go up here, go to YouTube. No, I want YouTube, because I messed up at the beginning. Then go to my videos. Actually, just put DNS kappa Convict. Can't type. Okay. Right. And then let me have a look. Which one is it? I think it would be DNS Theory. And let me just edit. Let me just pause that real quick because we don't need that. So the website's here. You click on the website, accept, allow. And then here you can choose what country you're from. So if you're from any of these, and I'll put this in the description below, and then you can come here to the website and it has all the different countries. So you choose your country and do the tests from here. Like I said, don't use mine1 specifically, especially if you're not from the UK, because it will be bad if you're from any of these other countries. Only use DNSs based on your country or what's closest to you, because you want the time to live to be short as possible. So I'll choose the United Kingdom here, and then obviously you just go through each one of these. Let's do a random test. Let's choose this one here. This says Manchester. And then let's run this test. Again, ping-t, because it makes it do it all unlimited times. And then type in the IP address and then run the test. If it doesn't run, then it's probably that. Obviously, it's not allowed. You see that request timed out. Let me just double check that one, make sure it's correct. Try that again. Yeah, so that one's not working. That one might be one that's not allowed. Or maybe it's a private one. You want one, obviously, with the best reliability. Let's try this one. There we go. We can see this example of a deviating one where it's going 13, 14. So this one would be a bad one. And plus, obviously, it's a lot higher ping as well, even though the time to live is quite short. Like my current connection to London is 8 milliseconds, and London's a lot further from me than Manchester. Or are they the same distance? I don't know. You can see it's deviating a lot. This is what you don't want. You don't want it going 13, 14, 14, 14, 14, 13, 13, 13, 13, 14, 13, 13, 13. You want it to be the same all the time. So that one I wouldn't recommend. But what you want it to be is like this, where it's consistently 8, 8, 8, 8, and it's never deviated. Now, the reason why I chose to do this, or try to do this, is because with NetDuma R3, because NetDuma R3, obviously they talk about the consistent, or the one that they call steady aim, or whatever it's called, steady ping, or whatever it's called. And you go on that and you choose it, and it'll give you a ping above a certain ping, and it'll try to keep you at that same ping each and every time. So when it's going through to the server and it's coming back to you, it's staying consistent throughout the entire time that it's doing it, and it's not deviating as much. Now, I'd say the bad example, obviously, is the Manchester one. I'd say these ones at the top, the 8.8 and the 1.1s, these aren't that bad because they're only deviating very slightly, and it's not happening that every single time. As you can see here, there's a long period of 8s where there's no deviation, and then it does deviate slightly here, and it goes to 9, but then goes back to 8, and then obviously that one at the beginning as well. These ones I would say would be fine for the 1s, and again for the 8s. The 8th one, I would probably say this one's not as good because it does deviate a little bit more often. 8, and then 8, and then 8, 8, 8. So this one I'd say is a bad example as well. You want it to be as level as possible each and every time. So the 1s here are a pretty decent one because it's just deviated just twice within the time that it's run. The one you want to try and do is get it like this, where it's consistently never changes at all. As you can see, it never changed from the minimum to max to average. It stayed the same all the time. And that's what you kind of want to be looking at. So run the benchmark, get your DNSs and stuff here, and then give it a try and see. Again, don't use the ones that I use today or what I've shown you. You want to go and do it yourself and run the test in order for it to work. Don't just type in random because it's not going to work for you like that. It has to be that you have to go in. Also, make sure that the DNS time to live is short as well, so that it's not a long time to live, and keep trying and go through them. So I'll put this in the description. So you can choose, obviously, where you want to be if you're in Germany or whatever country you've been in, and run through a couple of these on here. Try the DNS benchmark as well and see if that brings up some good DNSs, because a lot of the DNSs I've actually had have been ones actually out of this list and were automatically already in this list. Like, for instance, the 2 that I chose for mine, they were already in this list. I didn't have to add them. They were already automatically in this list itself. So this list is pretty good, even though it's a very old program from a long time ago. As you can see here, it was benchmark, or copyright was in 2010. It's actually still good even now for the list that you get. You just need to go through them. It does take a bit of time to do it, but I recommend highly that you go through it and go through the list and try them out and see if you can find one that works best for you. And then you should be good on there. As you can see from conclusion, you can't see it because it won't. I need to run the benchmark if it's going to do that. So yeah, I thought I'd show you this quick video. This is how it helped me in order to make my connection really, really good. I'll try and show you today, obviously, during the gameplay. If you want to come and check it out, I am going to be live in another 1 hour and just under an hour and a half. So if you want to check out the live stream, please come over. I'll be live streaming on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and we're going to do TikTok today. We might do TikTok today. See and get that set up on mobile as well. I'm not sure. I might try and wait till we get to 1,000 before we start doing TikTok, because of the fact that it just looks ugly and stupid having to use a mobile phone. But yeah, we're live definitely on Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube on there, and I'll be testing out running tests and stuff So if you want to come along, by all means, feel free to do so and have a chat, chit chat. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Definitely check out the DNS Benchmark. I'll leave the program's name in the description. I'll leave that website in the description as well. Like I said, don't use mine because mine won't help you. You've got to do the tests. That's the only way you'll actually get it to work, is by running the test yourself. Anyway, salute to you all. Thank you very much for watching. And yeah, bye for now.